first and foremost, we want to give all praises, all honor, all glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakudash.
All right, double honors to the apostles and others that were in Millstone. Shalom to Akim, for your work and sincerity. All right, coming as usual, midweek camp, prophesy the downfall of this society. All right, simply saying what's going to happen before it happens. All right, and from what we've been seeing, we've been spot on. Okay, with everything. All right, so it's a lot going on through the spirit. All right, of course, you know, we got Israelites waxing worse and worse. You know, there ain't gonna never be no unity amongst the camps, only the elect. Okay, because Jake don't really truly believe in what unity truly stands for. You know, being like-minded, thinking and having the same thoughts, thinking about the same things, having the same judgment. You know, so when dealing with that aspect, you know, Jake is all over the place. Jake gonna do whatever the hell they want to do. Nobody cares about order. Nobody cares about the chain of command. So okay, do the truth how you think you're supposed to do it. We're gonna see how that ends up. But there is a certain way you're supposed to do this truth, and there ain't no other way outside of that. Okay, in this one group, all right, amongst, you know, you have affiliate camps, and then you have probably maybe have camps that believers, all right, who follow the way, all right, but you know, yeah, you got it.
This is John chapter 10 and verse 1. It says, Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, the same is a thief and a robber.
Right, so that's how the Lord looks at you, man. If you coming up another way, if you're not coming through the main channels, all right, okay, you a fly-by-night Israelite, all right, you've been learning from all of these different groups, but you ain't, you know, essentially presented yourself and you know, in front of the true main camps, all right, and you know, because Jake be behind a computer for months, they'll get this understanding, and they'll be studying different camps, and they'll become, you know, these teachers, these grand wizards, these high priests, and all of that. But when it comes to rebuke, you can't rebuke them, you can't say nothing to them, all right, or else you hate them. But this whole ministry is about correction, all right, because we're being adorned. The whole point of us being awakened, part of that is being adorned, and the Lord, you had something? There's Psalms 50 and 21. Yeah. That deals with the Lord raising us up. So there's a certain way He's raising us up, and then Sirach 17 and 17. Remember, you got it. And then y'all can go back to your precept.
I got the Psalms 50.
You got it.
The Psalms 50.
17.
The Psalms 50 and verse 21, it says, These things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such an one as thyself.
Yeah, it's dealing with Esau. That's dealing with the wicked, okay? Because they're doing certain things in the earth, and they think the Most High is with it. Because what? Sentence against an evil work, Ecclesiastes 8:11, is when it's not executed speedily.
Therefore, the heart of the sons of men is fully set to do evil.
That's right. So that's how Esau thinks. Go ahead.
It says, But I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes.
Right. And so the Lord is setting us up in order in front of our enemies' eyes. And part of Him setting us in order is what? The correction. All right? All right? Speaking of word, the correct words of doctrine. All right? We never really come after people personally unless you go off in doctrine. Now, we might give, you know, we might add some, what do they call it? Something like that. We might make fun of you a little bit, you know, but Jake ain't got character, you know?
This is Titus chapter 1 and verse 13, and this is dealing with you know, rebuking them, you know. So it says Titus 1:13, the witness is true, wherefore rebuke them sharply, that they may be sound in the faith.
Right. So have I become your enemy because I told you the truth? Because I was an actual brother to you and told you that was off and that ain't how it's supposed to be broken down. So we are enemies because we told you that, because we're trying to keep you sound in the faith and keep your words sound. You see, but Israel was never fair. They was never fair with the Lord. All right? And he said that in Ezekiel. He said, are not your ways, he said, are not your ways not unequal or something like that? Aren't your ways not equal? All right? They say the Lord isn't equal or He isn't fair. But aren't your ways not fair? All right? How can two walk together except they be agreed? And the Lord was talking directly to the Israelites. Right?
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 17, and verse 17. And it reads, for in the division of the nations of the whole earth, he set a ruler over every people. But Israel is the Lord's portion.
We belong to the Most High Yahweh Shemashah. We don't belong under the rulership and systems of anybody else except for our power. You see, and for so long, they've been subjecting us to the way of their ways, all right, to the westernized ways. And in fact, they brought us the Native American Indians. They did boarding schools after they essentially wiped them out, right? They took our names and beat our customs out of us during slavery, all right? So, but the scripture said that we belong, we have a power, we have a ruler. And ever since we've been here on American shores, you had other nations ruling over us except for our own people. And whenever a so-called black Messiah comes, they'll kill him, they'll murder him. All right, Malcolm X, but really, he didn't have the whole truth. You see, Martin Luther King, they didn't have the whole truth. All right, and in fact, Martin Luther King, after I think his last one is, it wasn't his last speech. Okay, let me get it correct. He said something to the extent of he regretted some of his works because he was leading his people into a burning building. You know, America is our punishment. And that's what the world is going to figure out, that the Lord put us in slavery because we transgressed his laws, all right? It's not because these nations are better than us. It's because we transgressed the Most High's laws. You got it. Whenever you're ready. Go ahead.
I got something too. This is Jeremiah chapter 23 and verse 25. It says, I have heard what the prophet said that prophesied lies in my name, saying, I have dreamed. Mm-hmm. How long shall this be in the heart of the prophets that prophesy lies?
Right, and those that's been prevalent among Israelites. Okay, all right, all throughout the ages. All right, except for the last since 70 AD. All right, was the last stronghold of the Israelites. After that, they were taken down. Their land they were dispersed throughout the four corners of the earth. All right, and the Romans pretty much took over Israel, and they renamed it. They renamed it Palestine, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was Hadrian, Caesar Hadrian. All right, but go ahead.
It says, how long shall this be in the heart of the prophets that prophesy lies? Yeah, they are prophets of the deceit of their own heart.
Right, and so you have prophets that prophesy smooth things. They prophesy prosperity, right? And that's what now we weren't here for prosperity. This was a punishment for the Most High. All right, why do you think it was such an astonishment? Okay, why do you think the government got away with so much things? Psalm 17 and 13. All right, because Esau, the so-called white man, was a whooping stick to our people. All right, and these people y'all gonna figure out that it wasn't because y'all were dominant. It's because we transgressed the laws of our power. That's why we were put in slavery. That's why we became a reproach and a proverb, and everybody made fun of us all over the world. That was the Lord's doing, and y'all can figure that out. Y'all can find that out very soon. You got it. Mm-hmm.
It's the book of Ezekiel chapter 39 and verse 23. And it reads, and the heathen shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity for their iniquities.
See? For our iniquities. And you see how bad our people now, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, they lost their damn mind. All right? Now, it's not without the help of the so-called white man, because we know he social engineered us to be a certain way. Right. All right? We know that the culture creation, we know through blaxploitation and we know through Hollywood, which is when you go to you break down Hollywood, that goes back to witchcraft. Okay, we know that they set up certain things to influence us, and it's an actual term they use. They call it memetics. They know about crowd participation or something that we're going to, but they know we're highly influential people. They know that they set up the CIA. They even got a stake in Hollywood. All right, where they essentially all they do is exploit us. All right, by making these caricatures, you know, drug dealers, you name it. All right, sports icons and all that shit. That we don't come from that type of history, man. All right, that was put on us. The entertainment world. Why do you think they only play or allow this degenerate music to go on? Right. So that they can influence the younger generations in our neighborhood, so that we can be destroyed And then now you got the
Killing each
school to prison pipeline going.
Yep.
Now they just, and they use the media to say, oh, they're nothing but criminals.
Right.
I guarantee you, anybody on the outskirts of Milwaukee, every time I have a conversation with anybody, and it's mainly white people, on the outside of Milwaukee, they always think of Milwaukee as some dangerous place. All right? And that's all by fucking design. Okay? That's all by design. You people just finding out that your government has been corrupt over years. All right? CIA, FBI doing all type of evil shit throughout the earth, destabilizing other countries and doing all type of covert operations and all of that, man. And all of that information's out there for you to get. You know? And so you got people looking at our situation, not understanding fully what we're going through and how we've been suffering and how systematically they're coming after. But we don't want none. We don't want reparations. We just want salvation from this place. What you got?
I got something.
Can I finish
Yeah, go
this?
ahead, go ahead.
I know I'm talking a lot, so forgive me. Okay.
Ezekiel 39 and 23, and it reads, and the heathen shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity for their iniquity, because they trespassed against me.
It's not because what Darwin is, or Darwin said, Charles Darwin said that we were imbeciles,
Right.
and that they were better than us. No, that was your biggest back in the late 1800s. That's who that was. They were the billionaires at that time. So we already know who to the victors go the spoils of war. So they get to rewrite history. All right? And they had what, the Tavistock Institute and all these different institutions where they were spewing out all of this scientific madness, pseudoscience. All right, saying that we were imbeciles and that we shouldn't have Margaret Sanger, all right, who was the mother of Planned Parenthood, okay, and and basically who's, you know, I don't want to kind of go into tandem, but who's being used? I mean, not used, but the so-called black woman is the #1 among women in the world who abort their children,
Right.
at a very alarming rate. All right, you think that's not by design? Okay. Well, go ahead, read. Because I lose my train of thought.
Read it again. Ezekiel 39 and 23, and the heathen shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity for their iniquity, because they trespassed against me. Therefore hid I my face from them.
Right, the Lord turned away from us. And the scriptures say in Hosea that he 5 and 15, that he turned away from us until we acknowledge our iniquity. Okay? It's the reason why we was calling ourselves Negro, Color, and other nations was calling us all these different names is because of the Lord.
Right.
It ain't because these people are better than us. All right? It's because we failed. We messed up. All right? And y'all gonna figure that out in the worst way. But go ahead.
It says, therefore hid I my face from them, and gave them.
Yeah. We cried unto the Lord, and we weren't saved. You know? And the scriptures tell you that. You know? Go ahead.
It says, therefore hid I my face from them, and gave them into the hand of their enemies.
Right.
So fell they all by the sword.
Right. And he gave us over. All right. He became an enemy to us. Okay. Because it's one thing that the elite of this society, that run this society, know: as long as we keep the name of our power in our mouths, there's nothing they can do with us. But as long as they can influence us with all this madness and all this evil stuff that they got us, you know, sexy red. All right, they're literally talking about all of this sexual stuff openly on the airwaves. You think they wouldn't do that? They wouldn't do nothing nowhere near close to that in any other community except for the black community. Why? Because they want to destroy us. It's not no speculation. It's you can tell it's systematic. Redlining. All right, they didn't even allow us to buy houses. Okay. And they regulated us to these torn down neighborhoods, and when we move into them, the value go down. Come on, man, it's insulting. America's been insulting from its inception, and people don't get that. They don't get how hurt we were, how hurt we've been over hundreds. We're talking about hundreds of years, hurt and pain, and we didn't do anything to nobody in return. And you people should be thanking God for that. All right, but y'all couldn't destroy us, and that's the main thing. Y'all could not destroy us. And even with the low rate, the low high school dropout rate, being more higher among the so-called minority community, y'all couldn't stop us, you know? And the main thing is for us not to have, be wealthy and live autonomously like they live. That's the number one fearful thing, okay? That's why right now, whatever billionaire there is, when it comes to Bill Cosby, fuck Diddy, I don't care about Diddy, right? It's a lot of evil, wicked black people, all right, who sell their own people out. We know that, okay? All right, but just because it's one token nigga who had $1 billion, don't mean all of us made it.
Right.
You see? Well, go ahead.
It's the book of Psalm, chapter 62 and verse 4. And it reads, they only consult to cast him down from his excellency.
Mm-hmm.
They delight in lies.
Mm-hmm.
They bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly, Selah.
Right, and that's the so-called white man. All right, the first national movie, right? I forget the name of it, but they remade the movie and they made it about what's his name? 1832. Nat Turner. What was the
Birth
name
of the Nation?
The Birth of the Nation. Now the first movie, all right, they played in the White House, and they created a caricature of a black man raping a white woman. Well, we know that was remotely impossible, being that we were in this condition that we were in. It wasn't no nigga going around raping white women. We were way too afraid, and that's the fear and dread the Lord put on us of the so-called white man. When the cops roll up, there's a fear and a dread. Who the hell do you think put that there? That was the Most High. Okay, because we were a rebellious, stiff-necked nation. We were a horrible people. We got a legacy of being a horrible people, and it's in the Bible. Okay? Go ahead. Go ahead.
This is 2 Ezra chapter 6 and verse 56. It says, as for the other, I'll start at 55.
Mm-hmm.
It says, all this have I spoken before thee, O Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, because thou hast made us the world for our sakes.
Yeah.
It says, as for the other.
But why do you think we are the best athletes? Okay? Why do you think we the best actors? And it's not just to say we the best at everything. All right? It's because that's how the Lord made it. Like the nations get joy off of us being the way we are.
Right.
And if you haven't seen it for the last 400, 500 years, we've been catering to everyone else but ourselves. Okay? And that's the Lord's doing. But the kingdom of heaven is going to be just us. Right. And everybody else is going to have to cater to us. You got it?
Verse 56, as for the other people which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle.
Right.
And has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel.
Right. So very insignificant. That's how the Lord looks at the other nations. All right. But the Lord, see, and the thing is that the Lord ain't unfair. He allowed for all these different heathen nations to rule and have their own kingdom. And they got to rule as they see fit. Just like the so-called white man. Right? Yeah.
He's fulfilling his blessing. This is the time where he's fulfilling his blessing. When you read Genesis the 27th chapter.
And 40, right. The 40th verse.
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 57, and now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us.
Right, and to devour us. Now, part of the curses that we inherited is in Deuteronomy the 28th chapter. It says that our enemies, in fact, can you get that? That our enemies got above us very high. We would become the tail and they would become the head. You know? Go ahead.
Verse 58, but we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands.
Yeah, right? Go ahead.
It says, if the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess the inheritance with the world?
Right, we don't have no inheritance with the world because we don't have a homeland. We don't even have a fucking name. They call us African Americans. Right. They put two continents together and called us that. Black. They've been calling us black. They've been calling us Negroes. What were we before we came on the shores of America? It wasn't African because they didn't call Africa Africa. All right. And we weren't Africans because it was a diaspora, which is a dispersion. We were dispersed from our homeland after the Roman persecution. All right? And when you go into 70 AD, the reason why 70 AD, of course, the Lord prophesied about it, but what really sparked it was a rebellion of Israelites rebelling against the Roman Empire, which led to the, you had 66 AD and then all the way leading up to 73 AD, the Roman Jewish wars. That's our history that they don't allow us to have. America's been completely whitewashed and that's Revelations 20 and 7, that he would go out into the world and deceive the nation. You know, so Satan, all right, is on Esau to deceive. And that's all they've been doing. They got all the credit for all the things. They're Moses in the book. And clearly, we already know that he would be called a so-called black. All right, because black ain't a nationality. You just say so-called.
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 59 again. This is the last verse for this. It says, "If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world?"
We don't have no inheritance with the world. We're not at the G7 summit.
Yeah.
We're not at the G20 summit.
Right.
They're not talking about the condition of so-called black people.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, they want to bring you into a new world order, right? Where they're going to enslave everybody by way of an RFID chip. All right, and everything that Trump is doing is paving the way for that new world order, for that beast system to be put in play. Why do you think artificial intelligence is taking over the Department of Government Efficiency with what's his name, Musk? You know what I'm talking about, Elon Musk. You know, so everything is being set up for you to be in this beast system ultimately, so they can enslave everybody. Okay, you got it.
It says, "How long shall this endure?" That's it.
Right. How long should this endure? Until the Lord comes. All right. And the scriptures say in 2 Thessalonians that the day of the Lord shall not come except there be a falling away first. And the Israelites fell. All right. And when you look at all the major empires in the world, when you look at world history, from the Assyrians to the Babylonians, from the Babylonians to the Persian Medial Empire, to the Greek, and to the Romans, we were all in captivity to them. So it's nothing new under the sun. The Israelites were captives and slaves to all of these different nations. The only difference is in America, when we're under the rulership of the so-called white man, we don't have our nationality no more. Right? We're just niggas. We're just imbeciles. Okay, we're just thugs. We're all of this stuff that they propagated and genetically modified us to be.
Right. That goes into when we were in during the transatlantic slave trade. Not even that, when the Europeans came over to the Americas, right, and then they ended up making treaties and deals with the Edomites. You know, ended up making treaties and deals with the natives, or the indigenous people as they call them. You know, and then they ended up breaking them treaties and deals, ended up slaughtering them, killing them, then shipping them off to these different Caribbean lands.
And now later on,
but they're
talking about critical race theory. It's a theory. Now we're theorizing the pain and hurt of hundreds of millions of people, trillions if not, billions, not trillions.
They ended up putting a social construct on us. You know, black and white, right? They started throwing nationality. Right, they started throwing black or African American.
Yeah, because black, when you look up black, is
void of light.
Void of light.
It means void of light. Yeah.
It means void of understanding. Yeah. So they put that on us, and they call themselves white. That's 1861, if I'm not mistaken.
Social construct.
No, it goes 1680.
1680.
Around late 1600s, it came
right.
from.
So they didn't call themselves white until 1681.
Right.
So the white people are the reason for racism and races.
Right.
All right. We didn't come up with none of that. So what you got? Because we're gonna switch to the subjects and kind of deal with the beast system. I kind of want to deal with it. So how Trump is forwarding us into that. Whatever precepts y'all got. And where we?
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead, bro.
Well, I have two. Definitely see what you mean about the systemic exploitation of black people and how their identities were stripped, and how you're talking about how the categorization black versus white is a product of European imperialism. I guess my question is, as a white man, what do you see my role as? How can I help liberate? You know what I mean? Because I see the exploitation, and I don't want to be a part of it, but I was born into it. You know.
All you can do is live your life, bro. All you can do is live your life. What we do is let everyone know what's going to happen before it happens.
Yeah.
This society is going to crumble.
Yeah.
And there's no way back. I mean, every other society had its heyday. Every other society failed, and America's not going to be great again.
Yeah.
because it never dealt with his sins.
Mm-hmm.
And his greatest sin was taking us into captivity,
Mm-hmm.
which was pretty much a setup by the Lord. But I
Mhm.
mean, it depends, because you might not be a white man.
Mhm.
You know, like we said, a white man is a social construct.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So you might be an Israelite.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know.
Mhm.
What is your father's nationality?
German.
He's German. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe close to that. We don't know.
Yeah.
You know what kind of German was he? Was he strictly German? Bavaria? Was he from Bavaria?
That I don't know.
Oh, okay. You might have a problem. You might be an elite son.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know, but that's just a joke. But
No.
we don't know. I mean, it's based on your spirit. But
Yeah.
what we're doing is we're waking our people up.
Okay. So that.
It's nothing that we're gonna do to change anything. We're just letting people know what's gonna happen before it happens. It's
Mhm.
essentially it's a foreshadow.
Sure.
You know.
One
All
other.
you can do is live your life and live it to the fullest. You know?
Yeah.
And all I can tell you really is to get out of America, because it's nothing but violence that's going to ensue in America.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's an impending financial crisis that they've been talking about for years,
Oh yeah.
and when it finally hits, it's going to hit.
Yeah.
You know.
Mhm.
So the main thing is, hey, buy Bitcoin and get the fuck out of America,
Mhm.
because that's the only thing that's going to really help.
Mhm.
I mean, the only thing you can do is live your life.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. One other question I had too: why do you think like that God wanted to punish the African nations? Like I don't think the European nations were by any means more morally superior. Obviously, you know, I know you agree with that.
Give me Sirach 33:10.
Mhm.
I can answer with a precept.
Mhm.
You know, it's all the Lord's doing.
Yeah.
It's His will. You
Mhm.
know, and once you read, once you get more into the understanding of the scriptures, you'll understand that it's the reason for His will is a purpose behind it all.
Mhm.
So go ahead. Yeah.
It's the book of Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus of the Apocrypha, chapter 33 and verse 10. And it reads, "And all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of earth. In much knowledge, the Lord hath divided them."
Right. So the Lord divided the nations. He never brought them together. Divided them, and that's for a reason. That was for a purpose. Go ahead.
In much knowledge, the Lord hath divided them and made their ways diverse. Some of them hath He blessed and exalted, and some of them hath He sanctified and set near Himself.
Right, and that was the nation of Israel. Go ahead.
But some of them hath He cursed and brought low.
Right, so nations, you got nations, you said African, but that ain't really a biblical term.
Sure. Yeah.
That comes from a Roman general, Leo Scipio Africanus.
Mhm.
You know, so ultimately it's the Lord's determined. But go ahead.
It says, "But some of them hath He cursed and brought low and turned out of their places. As the clay is in the potter's hand, to fashion it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of Him that made him."
2 Ezra 6 and 9. And then we can go into the blessing. Okay. So ultimately it's the Lord's doing. We don't have no control over that. All the Bible does is leave a blueprint, or it gives you an insight on how the Lord works. You know, and so many people are really blinded to that understanding, because really the scriptures is locked. All right. The Lord told Daniel to shut up the book. All right.
Time of the end.
Until the time of the end. You know.
And he shall run to and fro. Now the shall increase.
It says, "So man is in the hand of Him that made him, to render to them as liketh him best."
Right. So it was the Lord's choice, whatever He saw fit. You know, He is the ultimate power, and that's basically what He's proven, that He has the ultimate say so. He's the ultimate judge, and yet, you know, a lot of people want to blame God for everything, but really you can't blame God for everything. You know, I mean, most of the blame you can say goes to Adam. You know,
Right.
for allowing a woman to be to do what she wanted, but the Adam, he's fixing it. You know, he's a quickening spirit now, that's the Lord. But go ahead though.
Verse 14 of Sirach 33, it says, "Good is set against evil."
So that's how the Lord sets it up. Job 9 and 24 says, "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. All right, He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is it?" So the wicked run the world, and that's how the Lord has it, because His righteous people, all right, didn't do what we were supposed to do. All right, we transgressed, and pretty much it set the course of the world on detour. Ultimately, the Lord's plan is to ultimately take away all pain and suffering, and that's going to happen regardless if people want to believe it or not. He's going to take away all the curses from his chosen, and we're going to reinvigorate the earth, refresh the earth, revitalize it, and bring in a new law. All right, it's going to be conducive to every living creature. You know, right now you got certain ecosystems that's being destroyed because of a corporation want to improve their profits. You know, so Lord, all of that stuff is coming to an end. But there's a purpose behind everything that's going on. There's a purpose behind the wars, and there's a purpose behind people suffering, because ultimately it's going to come to an end. It's going to come to an end, and that's what the scriptures talk about. Go ahead.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 2. Proverbs 29 and 2.
Yeah, you got it. This is Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn.
Right, and that proves that the wicked is in rulership, because all over the planet there's uprising. There's always protests. Because the regular people have had it up to here. Even the regular Joe Schmo people know that they're being duped, know that they're being deceived, know that they're being robbed out of life. All right, and that's what's happening now. Every white person is supposed to have their own small country, their own islands. Right. But that is being taken away from you by the elite Edomites, all right, who know at the end that everything is going to be taken away from them because of all the evil that they've been doing.
This is Revelation chapter 6 and verse 4. It says, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat therein to take peace from the earth.
Now we know the Bible is written in code, most of it.
All right. Dark parables,
similitudes, you know, metaphors, and all those sort of things. All right. That red horse is representing, that represents Esau, because when you go into the name Esau, Edom, Adawan, which means red, and the horse represents power. Okay. Go ahead.
It says, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth.
Right, and that's what the so-called white man has been doing throughout the centuries. There's been wars, and more wars. All right, even now with the Gaza Strip, there's more wars. Who you think perpetuating those wars? Edomites. Okay, get 2 Ezra 6 and 9. All right.
But you know, when we go into it, all this is the Lord's doing.
Yeah, it's all the Lord's doing.
Proverbs 21 and 1 says the king's heart is in the hands of the Lord.
Yeah.
So the Lord is actually the one that's in control of this. Like we stated earlier, He set up the wicked to be in rulership because of our disobedience. So when you start,
we have to bear the shame of seeing the baseman rule the world. Somebody that's not, somebody that don't care for life as much. All right, somebody that don't care for your life as much, because the scriptures say that they had no pity for the young, the old. They utterly destroyed all, and that's what they did. All right, in slavery, and this just ain't slavery. This is beyond slavery. This is way before slavery. All right, and it's important to know the Bible, because all mankind's history is in the Bible. You know, and the Bible deals with particular history. All right, and it kind of tracks that history to lead to ultimately the conclusion of the whole matter, which the earth is going to be turned right side up, because right now it's upside down. All right, the society is completely upside down, and they know it to be, and they're pushing that spirit of Satan. It is all being done deliberately, because ultimately it's a fight against the Most High.
Right.
You know.
Yep.
Oh. Go ahead.
Nah, I was just going back to what you're saying. It's a fight against the Most High, is because they're trying to exalt themselves as the so-called white men as their God. That's why.
Why do you think they got a thing called transhumanism? I'm sure you know about that, right? Transhumanism is them, the elite class, trying to make themselves immortal through technology. That's as simple as I can put it. You know, and they have the technology. But guess who gave them the technology? The Most High.
What you figure out is that the Lord has always been the puppet master, and He's been the
Grandmaster. And what he's doing is showing his complete power. You know? Go ahead.
This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, and I'll start at verse 3. It says, "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first."
Right, the day of the Lord, the day of the return of who the world calls Jesus Christ.
Right? But his true name is Yahweh Shai, which means he's the Savior or deliverer. Okay? So the falling away happened when 70 AD came, when the Israelites were taken out of their homeland, were forced out of their homeland, and dispersed throughout Asia, Europe, and mainly Africa. A large portion of Israelites went into the west coast of Africa. Go ahead.
It says, "And that the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition."
The son of perdition, meaning the son of destruction. Now this ain't dealing with Judas Iscariot, all right? Because he was. It just meant generally he was the son of destruction. He was going to be destroyed. But this is dealing with Esau, okay? Because when you look at the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, it says Edom figures prominently for future judgment. He's a nation that has no repentance from God. Okay.
And it's obvious why they don't have any repentance. It's because of the evil that they're doing, and they're doing it deliberately. Go ahead.
Verse 4 says, "Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped."
Just read it verbatim. You can say God.
"Who opposeth and exalts himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he is God, sitteth in the temple of God, shewing himself that he is God."
Yeah, that's right. Now, who's doing that? The Pope.
He's the one that's setting himself up and say he's the right-hand man of God. He's going all over the earth.
You've been exonerated and hitting you with the the cross and
saying certain things, and the whole world has to adhere to it. We didn't do that. That's the so-called white men doing it. Go ahead.
Verse 5, it says, "Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things? And now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in this time."
Right, so he's being revealed in his time. And that time is the time that the Lord allotted him to
establish his kingdom, his rule in the earth. Go ahead.
It says, "For the mystery of iniquity doth already work."
which was the Roman Empire.
All right, or you can say the Herodians, because the Edomites sown their seed among the Israelites. All right, you had Herod the Great; he was the king of Judea. Okay, so there was Edomites among the Israelites, and at that time the Israelites loved Esau, and they still to this day would love the so-called white man. All right, because really, y'all are a brother nation, and in fact, when we go into Genesis, we are the last few nations that get kingdoms on the earth. That's our history.
So our history go way beyond America. Our history go way beyond the Roman Empire, the Greek Empire. Our history goes way beyond Babylon.
Our history with the so-called white man, and that's why we're here together at the end. All right, because it's coming to its finality. Our relationship is coming to its finality. All right, you got one brother that hates the other and treats the brother a certain way. All right, which is a perpetual hatred with the scriptures going into. All right,
it says, only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out the way.
Right.
So the Lord that's allowing. Only he will let until he. What did it say again?
It says, only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out the way.
Right. So the Lord is allowing certain things to go on. All right. And he's allowing them to rule the way they see fit. Okay. But ultimately, every rulership comes to an end. Ultimately, every leader and king is held accountable for things that they've done in their society. Okay. That's what's with Solomon. I think it's the 6th chapter. The sovereignty comes from the Almighty, and then the Lord will charge the kings. All right. And search out their counsels and so on and so forth. Go ahead.
Verse 8, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth.
That's his prophets. All right. That's Sirach. Is it 42 where it says the children will complain about ungodly fathers? Read that again.
It says-
The last part.
2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 8, and then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth.
Right. So the wicked are being revealed in his time, which is now.
The end. All right. By the spirit of the Lord's mouth. That's the prophets. Hosea 12:10.
All right. The Lord speaks through his prophets, through his men. He doesn't have to come down. All right. He doesn't have to open the sky to talk to you, and he's not going to do that, because the Lord says he is one that hideth himself. The Lord doesn't care for that. You know. Only men care for that bravado and that type of showing. Well, the Lord, how the Lord does it, he'll set you up so he can show his power. He'll let you do whatever you want to so he can show his power in the end. And it'll be swift, it'll be a swift judgment. Okay? Because the Lord don't want to reveal himself. All right? Go ahead.
And shall destroy with the brightness of his coming.
And let me correct myself. He doesn't have to reveal himself. Okay? But he does want to show his power. But he's very long suffering.
Verse 9, even him whose coming is after even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders.
Right, and that's those that are coming after the power of Satan is the so-called wicked. What is he doing in the earth to prove it? All right, he's setting up all of these satanic systems all over the world, and even when you go into years back when we went to Illuminati, when we was going into the Illuminati, they show you all the signs and symbols of the Illuminati, and they have them all through society. All right, he's showing you deliberately that he worships Satan. All right, the alma mater, they worship the holidays,
Christmas.
Calling the clothes.
It's in everything. All right, so we know who's pushing Satan. We know who's contrary to the Most High and the Most High's laws. All right, this society is contrary to Western civilization.
It's contrary to the Most High and his laws. That's evident. But
They'll stand up on the big screen and put their hand on the Bible and solemnly swear.
Yeah, and that's Psalms 50.
Solemnly swear.
Well, it's at 58. You cast my word. No, that's 50, right? You cast my words behind me.
Right.
Yeah, they don't uphold the law, but they got it in their justice system, and they're gonna be judged by it. And see, that's the thing. Like, people want to be mad at us. You gotta be mad at the ones that's running society.
Right.
And in fact, people are going to know that it's the ones that's in the top seats in society. The scriptures say they're going to turn against them. That's 2 Corinthians 15th chapter.
Yeah.
The people, these people in society are going to turn against. You're going to turn against your own leaders, because whole time they were deceiving, and really, they didn't allow any equity to be brought into society. Any
fairness. They rule how they see fit, and they're doing it on a high level of deception.
That's why you have rich and poor.
Yeah, that's why the gap is widening.
You know, the gap ain't supposed to be widening, but people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. You see, and people are mourning because the wicked and actual evil people are running society.
And you could tell by you having to pay rent. Okay, you having to.
Yeah, the way they have life set up is strenuous to the nature of life is something. You gotta work 60, 80, 40, 60, 80 hours a week, and you only spend 4, 8 hours with your children, with your family. And family is supposed to be the main thing, and they destroy and this society has destroyed the nucleus of the family. All right, child support, alimony, all of that stuff. And then when you get married, it's the third party is the government, but really the third party should be God. That's a covenant between you,
Your woman and the Most High. And now
They intervene.
you got to pay lawyers. You got to do all of this stuff. So the justice system is rigged.
It's completely rigged. And yeah, everybody complaining about it.
It ain't just us. Everybody complaining about it.
Right.
But the thing is, the reason why we out here is to put it out there in the airwaves. The scriptures say, prophesy to the wind.
Yeah.
Because y'all gonna see the power of God. It was never through, some type of title that you hold. You know, and y'all got what, you know, y'all got the concept of a prophet all mixed up. They murdered prophets in the back in the day. All right, and nothing changed. You know, and their own people. You know, you can't forget they murdered the Lord. His own people did. You know, so hey, you got 6 and 9.
Yeah.
We gotta see what we got on time because we gotta close out. So, oh, we got a good 15 minutes.
Okay.
Yes.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse.
Oh yeah, the one in Sirach, 42.
Okay. That's right.
Start at verse 7.
Yeah.
2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 7, it says, Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth?
Right. Go ahead.
It says, And he said unto me from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
Right. He's the end of the world. He's the wicked that's being revealed in the end. Go ahead. You want to see that?
I guess he got the message.
Right.
He's needing like.
Well, yeah, he definitely.
He sat down. He sat down. You know, and then he had his questions. He waited for his questions.
And he said, what should I do? What
Just
can I do? What can I do right now?
Live like your Bitcoin and
I wanted to read
leave the
Lamentations
country.
4, man.
Right.
I wanted to read Lamentations 4.
Yeah. You know, but they be hurt. They be pricked
Yeah.
inside, bro. And that's the thing. That's how the Lord got it set up for you Edomites, man. You gonna hear the brunt. You gonna have to deal with the cup of the Lord's indignation. See, that's part of the Lord's cup. He ain't even know. Look, he over there shaking.
Yeah.
Boy, he like, damn, I can't do
Thinking.
anything
You
right
can
now.
tell he was thinking hard. He was
Yeah,
thinking
he might
hard.
not
Man.
commit suicide. Who knows, bro? But that's that word. It cut you. It cut us.
Right.
What you think you nations ain't gonna have to deal with the Lord's cup? Shit, we drunk of the Lord's cup. And continuously. Until the Lord say, okay, that's it. Go ahead.
It's the book of Psalm, chapter 75, verse 8. And it reads, I'm going to start at verse 6. Psalm 75 and 6.
He didn't even say goodbye.
Yeah,
No, he did. He kind of did.
Uh,
But we were looking at our phones and stuff, you know. So
Yeah, he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna walk
It
out.
was
he said it quietly though, real quiet though. He didn't really, you know.
Psalm 75 and Psalm 75 and 6. And it reads, For promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south. But the heavenly Father is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another.
See? The more you read the scriptures, the more you understand how the Lord works. It's the Lord who sets up nations. It's the Lord that puts down nations. Guess what? It's just your time to leave. It cannot. This place cannot be rebooted and become great again. Because if it becomes great again, it's gonna be a whole nother onslaught of oppression that you gotta deal with. You see how people losing jobs? And then they want to bring us into this whole Internet of Things, all things being connected, the New World Order, you know? And that's going to even bring more, what do you call it? Oppression. And more, what do you call it, when people are left out? Instability and inequality.
Remember the scripture says, you know, if really the wicked continue ruling, no flesh will be saved. You know what I'm saying? We will all be dead. You know what I'm saying?
So you talking. If a man saying that we might be another 1,000 years, it's impossible.
We'll be gone.
At the rate that Esau's moving, it's impossible for there to be another 1,000 years. Man, you out your mind.
And then you got a lot of Jake out there that they're not going for that slave owner mentality.
Yeah.
Like you hear a lot of Jake out there saying like we are not our forefathers, we're not our grandparents.
Yeah.
Jake fight. Psalm 75 and 8. For in the hand of the Lord Yahweh Shai, there is a cup, and the wine is red. It is full of mixture, and he poureth out of the same.
No, I've got a couple of precepts.
Oh, okay. Come.
It's
Go
okay.
ahead.
I'll wait.
But
Right, go ahead. Go back.
it says it is full of mixture, and he poureth out of the same. But the dregs thereof
Yep.
All the wicked of the earth shall wring them out and drink them.
Yeah. See, all the wicked of the earth will bring them out and drink. So you're gonna drink that whole cup. Water's a full cup of but yeah, you're gonna have to drink all of that. Okay? And this is just the start. Go ahead.
This is from GMS to Learn the Power. The brother Lamad Shalom Yabashim Yashar Barakatah. This he said, put up Micah 2:1. It says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand."
Right. Yeah. So right, they devise evil. All right, meaning they think about it, they ponder on it, they fully go through it all, right? Upon their beds, because the bed represents rest. When you have rest, you relax, right? So in their quarters, when they get on their downtime, they thinking about how to do mischief, how to enact laws and how to enact laws to do mischief and what? Because it's in the power of their hand. So when the morning, when it becomes light, they're able to enact it because what? They got the power to do it.
I got a precept to back that up. Proverbs 4:16, it says, "For they sleep not, except they have done mischief."
See? So, and it says, the scripture said they have done a diligent search.
Yep.
Yeah.
It says, "And their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall."
Yeah. So that whole thing is causing many to fall. You imagine that? You know? Yeah, I mean, you imagine somebody with so much power and all they want to do is make sure the next person won't be able to reach the next level. You know? Imagine a person have everything that their heart desires, right? But they see the next person and they say, you know what, the hell with his life, and well, that's Esau. You know? They're not gonna allow you to progress or live autonomously. They ultimately want to enslave you, and they want to be as God. They want to destroy, kill, rape, and rob, and continuously do this for the next centuries until there ain't no more.
Right. The scripture saying Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, how they heap it onto him, all people, because that's what that's going to be that one world order where they are in power and control over all the nations, and they're going to do it through via the RFID CHIP, right? So where they can easily monitor and control you in this society, verse 2, it says, "And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage."
See, they oppress them out, and that's what Esau's been doing. All right, they killing people, and destroying and taking people off their land, taking what they want. That's been the gist of the American imperialism, like God said.
I'm gonna say one good example you can use for how they covered fields and take them out violence is look what they did to the so-called Native Indians.
Yep.
So-called Seminole Indians, man. Look what they did to Gad during it's something called the Indian land grab.
Yeah.
In the book called How White Folks Got So
Rich.
Yeah.
The Red Holocaust.
Yeah. That breaking down that book break down pretty much everything what Esau's been doing the last few hundred years. You got the land right. It was land rights. How Esau got certain land. They disguised themselves as natives. A lot of natives.
Oh yeah.
Are really Edomites.
Right.
They call it I believe like the $5. I forgot what it's called. They pretty much paid $5 around like 1933 to be able to lawfully call themselves Native Americans. Yeah.
So
they paid the government $5.
Esau's been doing all type of shit.
Yeah. I got a precept. It's the book of Psalm, chapter 94 and verse 20, and it reads, "Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee?"
Right. So the throne of iniquity, these wicked rulers, shall they have what is it? What? I'm sorry.
Iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law?
Hell no, the Lord ain't gonna accept this kingdom. And it's not gonna be no joint rulership either. Alright? Okay, go ahead.
Verse 21. They
Esau's doing now.
so-called white people. After all they have been doing, all right, and we named off a few things. Jim Crow, all right, yeah, slave leasing, okay, well, they insisted to put your ass back in slavery after 1864, right? They caught you loitering because they weren't giving jobs out like that. You had to create your own job. You had to become a sharecropper. Sharecropping, right? You know, essentially, Jake, so-called Negro, would become, you know, owner. He wouldn't be the owner of the land. He'll just be farming it out for the next person, for these Edomites. And they can take it away. All right? Okay, so amongst other things, man. All right, and then later on in history, what? You got, well, yeah, Jim Crow. All right, it was another set of rules and set of laws that we had to abide by, which was, I mean, it was, you know, oppressive laws. Okay, you got the prison and pipeline, the school to prison pipeline. All right, you got the exploitation through entertainment. You know, so what do you think they're gonna do for the future, for this new world order that they got coming? All right. Yeah.
Psalm 94:21, they gathered themselves together against the soul of the righteous and condemned the innocent blood.
Right, and they condemn the innocent blood. You see? And that's what they're about to round Jacob again. And what do you think they're about to do? Condemn the innocent blood. Okay? They already got it planned out. They're gonna chop our heads off. We're gonna take the chip. Okay? They got that all set up. Alright? Okay, they're gonna throw us in prison. All right. So that's Esau's MO. And it may seem unfair, but it's all fair in love and war, baby. Because the Lord created them to be the way they are.
Life.
You know? You got it.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 20 and verse 4. And it reads, and I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua, and for the word of Yahweh, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their forehead.
And a lot of you niggas, if you kind of teeter, or how they say, toe the line, or towing the line, some of these things, a lot of you playing with y'all playing with the Lord, man. All right, because a lot of you, you all for this world, which really you putting yourself in the position to worship the image of the beast, man. All right, which how society is being ran, the standard of this world. Okay, a lot of you gonna opt into the new tech.